Dr. Kristen Loughman. I'm the Employee Communications Specialist for Cobb County. And today I am with Dr. Jackie McMorris, our County Manager, and we're excited to launch the Driven to Lead podcast with Dr. Jackie McMorris. Why don't you share a little bit about it with us, Dr. McMorris?
Well, thank you, Kristen. First of all, I have to give you credit. I appreciate the idea. For a long time, I have been thinking about connecting with our employees regarding my leadership journey and leadership tenets that might be helpful for them. Mm-hmm. And so as we were talking about ways that we could reach out to our employees and the podcast idea came up, it was as if we were on the same wavelength because I was thinking about ways that we could do this together. So thank you for the idea and the initiative to get me out there.
You're welcome. And I brought it, came to mind because of my time, spending time with you over the past 11 years and just your passion for leadership. So I think you're going to have a lot of wisdom to share with our employees and the public as well as we start moving forward. So I know that you are certified with the John Maxwell Leadership. Why don't you share kind of your personal leadership journey and how you got to this point?
Well, thank you very much. Yes, I am a John Maxwell certified trainer, leader, speaker, facilitator, and I chose the John Maxwell path because his vision for leadership and his tenets for leadership align with what I believe, and his leadership skills really start with others. It's not about self. And so as I learned a lot more about John's leadership philosophy and his meanings of leadership and the lessons in leadership, it really inspired me to go a little bit deeper. So John always says everything rises and falls on leadership. And leadership is about influence and the way and manner in which we use that. And that's pretty much what I try to teach and lead with my managers as well. So.
Great. So you're the county manager. Yep. And we're so excited. You're the first woman to be a county manager. Yes, so what steps did you take to get to this point?
Wow. Well, I think everything that I've gone through in my experiences, my work experiences has led to this time. I believe that God puts you where he wants you to be, and if you take advantage of the opportunity and the experiences there, they will also be a stepping stone and a guide when you get to where he has you in the next phase of your life. So for me, I started out in higher ed. As you probably know, I was a tenured college professor and was asked by the college president at the time to step out of that tenured position to serve as the special assistant to the president's office. And in doing that, it again broadened my horizon. When I stepped out of the classroom, I also got opportunities to do more leadership and administrative type things at the college level. And when we relocated to Arkansas, my husband at the time was a corporate executive with Walmart, and so I got a job at the University of Arkansas. And in that role, I was the associate director of the Arkansas Alumni Association. Worked a lot with the Arkansas Razorbacks. But when I came back to Georgia, I didn't get a job in higher ed. I was fortunate enough to get a job working in Cherokee County as the second to the county manager at the time. And that was my first introduction into government. And stayed there for a while. And after leaving there, I ended up here at Cobb County as our first public services agency director as a female, running that agency. And that was a door that opened up for me that really gave me the opportunity to rise to the level that I am now. I was the first deputy county manager and stayed in that role for 3 years, and now the county manager. And every step within my journey, I truly do believe has led me to be where I am today.
So what are your personal go-to strategies when you're doing leadership or working with your direct reports?
Well, there's a lot. First of all, there are two different posters that hang up in my office that guide me day by day. On one side of the wall, there is a poster that speaks about listening and learning and leaning in and laughing and loving and lifting people up. On the other side, there's a poster that says, never forget your why. Always focus on your why. And so those are the things that guide me as I lead. I have developed several different things along the way because you never stop evolving as a leader. And there are as many definitions of leaders as there are types of leaders, right? So leadership is a process. It's not something that is static or that is once you learn it, you're done. And so for me, as I look at how I lead, I always put people first. And then I think about the decisions that I make and what those decisions will mean to those with whom will be impacted. My team would tell you I have 6 Ps, started out with 5. And whenever I'm making decisions, Kristen, I always think about what is the policy, what has been our practice, what are the protocols, the procedures, the precedents that it's going to set, and the impact of the people. And so I teach my team to think strategically about the decisions that we make, because everything that we do and every decision that we make, it does have an impact on the people that we serve. And I tell them all the time, we don't sell anything, we don't make anything. The only thing that we have is service, and we need to be good at customer service.
Right, and that's part of the reason several years ago our tagline was expect the best. And
Absolutely.
we actually focus a lot on that customer service. You know, we have customer service week, we share it in our orientation. So customer service is definitely key, no matter what or who you're dealing with, whether it's an employee or it's a leadership person.
Absolutely. There are always multiple customers, as I see it. We have internal departments that service only the departments that lift up our internal employees in the workforce. They are just as important as those we serve outside of Cobb County. So I value customer service. I value the fact that we have core values that stand up what we mean when we talk about who we are as Cobb County. Yeah.
So how do the core values that we have affect your decisions and the difficult processes that we go through?
Every day. I mean, and they should be not just hanging on your wall in your department. You should live them. They all mean something. And what's most important to me about our core values is that they emerged out of our customer service satisfaction survey, right?
They did.
And we asked our employees, what are the core values that you believe we should have here at Cobb? And out of 7, the 4 that arose are integrity, right? Commitment, diversity, and teamwork. And those are important. And it's interesting when we interview employees, sometimes we say, well, how would you rank them? And it's interesting to see, because the way that they rank them says a lot about their core values, right? So it's important that we not only have them mounted where we can see them and reminded of what they are, as is with our mission, but it's more important to me that we live them. You ask, how do they impact or intersect with the decisions that we make? All the time. How can you make a decision that doesn't impact the integrity of Cobb County?
Right.
You know, how do you make a decision to do something and not think about the team or the impact, right? Diversity of thought, the diversity of gender, ethnicity, you know, accessibility, all of those things help us to I guess, formulate and to stand on what we truly believe here as important to us in Cobb County.
Yes. So in that, how do you encourage your team, your leadership team, in being able to have autonomy and operate in those values?
So it really starts with trust. You hire the right people for the right reason. You trust them to do their job, and unless there's a reason for you not to, that's how you empower them to be able to make decisions that are aligned with the core values of Cobb County. That's, to me, that is the core. You surround yourself with people who have shared vision, who have shared values, who believe in what it is we are doing, come to work every day, ready to work, give it 120% every single day without question, because that is what we are here for. So I try to inspire them as a leader to be able to lead in a way that they are proud of, to lead in a way that our board is proud of us, that when we go out, whether it's to a conference or to dinner and someone sees that we're from Cobb County, they say, I'm proud to be part of Cobb County. I'm part I'm proud to be a resident of Cobb. I'm proud to know that my tax dollars are being spent fiscally prudently, right? So when we lead in that way, it just trickles down, and hopefully it trickles out. I'm proud when I travel outside of the county to a conference or something, and I say that I'm from Cobb County, and people say, wow, Cobb County, wow, you all got it going on in Cobb County. I heard about this, or you all lead in this, or I've reached out to your such and such director to get more information on how you're doing things. And it just makes me feel good and proud to be the county manager leading an awesome team of employees here, all of them.
Yes, I'm proud to be an employee here as well. I think that we have a lot to offer our community from a leadership standpoint, and also, you know, as we've talked about, our customer service and what we're able to provide our residents through our different programs. You mentioned trust. How do you build that trust?
You know, trust is earned. And to receive it, you need to give it. And so to build it is allowing the managers the space to grow, to make mistakes, to learn from those mistakes, to give them something, a project that they can own from beginning to end, and trust that they have it, and stand back. Trust is not easy, particularly if you're one of those type A people, type A leaders where you want to be involved, you give it and then you want to take it away. But it is probably one of the most important things that you can have if you are truly a good leader. You don't second guess, you don't doubt, you don't throw anybody under the bus. You trust that you are leading them in a way that as they are making decisions, they are doing it for the best of Cobb. And that's how I build trust. And I listen. Trust starts with seeking first to understand, then second to be understood. And that's how I try to lead, in trusting my managers to do what they have been hired to do. They are the subject matter experts. Do we make mistakes? Absolutely. But it's how you learn from those mistakes. How do you grow from those mistakes? And then they will be with you from beginning to end when they know you have their back.
Yeah, and that's part of the ethics and being accountable for what we're doing as well, I think, and all that.
Yes. Within my management team, we have accountability partners. Yeah, so that when they're going through things or decisions that they have to make, or the fork in the road, they actually have someone that they can reach out to and lean on, because they know that that accountability partner also has a shared vision, and that vision is what is in the best interest of the county. When it comes to making a decision, when it comes to your self well-being, you have that person for you. And I encourage that.
So I know that from participating in some of your department manager meetings that you focus on books. Is there a book that you guys are reading right now, or?
There are lots of books.
Yeah.
Lots of books and lots of lessons. So I don't assign the books. I allow the managers to, I really don't allow them, but they choose the books that they want to read, and what's important to them and what may be going on within their own departments, right? And so one of the things that I implemented last year was a leadership nugget. As you know, we have a monthly managers meeting, and so it's hosted by that particular department, and that department head has to share a leadership nugget with all of the other managers. Some of them may be books, some of them may be, it could be a movie, it could be an article that they read, but they really are looking at ways that they can elevate their leadership lid, right? And so I'm excited that going forward, our podcast will include those managers and some of those leadership nuggets that they have learned, so that we can share it with the entire workforce in our community. So as I have said before, I'm an avid John Maxwell fan. I share a lot of my leadership tenets from John's work with my team, but I encourage them to find that leader or that author that resonates with them, and then share that leadership nugget. And so they come from all over. They're various books.
I also know you're passionate about women's leadership and how we can better advance ourselves in our careers and our communities. Why don't you share a little bit about that with us? I know that we went through the John Maxwell Women's Leadership. Some of us did. So.
That was from John's leadership, right? Leadership course. So for me, here's me, right? All about women empowerment, girl power. Women, just the acronym for me for women is, women are wise, we are worthy, we're optimistic, we're open-minded, we're meritorious and methodical, we're enthusiastic, we're educated, we're nurturing, and we're nimble. We created multitasking, right?
Yes.
So it's all about, again, providing an opportunity for all of us to grow, but providing that space where women leaders can lean in and lean on other women leaders. So when they're going through things that perhaps others aren't, they have a village. They have a family of folk who really do understand what they're going through. So here at Cobb, I'm always trying to elevate our female directors. And so when I suggested that, you all, which you got a chance to participate in a leadership 11-week course, I thought there was an opportunity to share some of the things I've learned with you all.
Yes. It was very insightful as well. I enjoyed my time in there. And I think that as a woman, when you start focusing on leadership and just trying to find who you are in all that, because I think having that self-confidence empowers you to be able to build on that and become the leader that we're called to be in the community and in our careers and our jobs.
Yeah, and there are a lot of stereotypes about women in leadership or women leaders, and we've broken the glass ceiling, but there's still barriers, there's still challenges, right, that we have to go through. And so just having an understanding that you're not alone, and that some of the things that we are going through as trailblazers, we're doing it not for ourselves. Again, leadership isn't about me.
Right.
It is, how do you help others, right? What are you leaving for others behind? Those other young girls look at women who have, made it in organizations, and they go, I can be that because I can see that, right? And that's what's important to me when I think about women leaders. It's the young women that are coming behind us,
right?
And the opportunities and the pathways that we're paving for them.
So when you're thinking about leadership and your leadership development, is there somebody a woman or somebody else that comes to mind that has really encouraged you and been instrumental in your growth as a leader?
So there's a personal and there's always like professional, right? So I would probably have to say my mom as my personal champion for more years than I can say, from a young child through my high school and college years. It's my mom. And I think a lot of women would say that it is their mom or someone in their lives that said, yes, you can do it. And that's important. We need that. We need someone to give us that boost and that push, and when times are tough, to say, get up, stop that. You got this, keep going. And that for me was my mom. Professionally, there have been women in my career, I won't name names, that have been very instrumental in supporting me and encouraging me to do things. But if you were to say, some of the top women that, you admire in different genres, there are a lot of them. Ruth Bader Ginsburg, I love the fact that she championed women's rights, and was a voice for us on the Supreme Court. Katherine Johnson, who was a big part of the NASA program back in the 60s, who was an unsung hero, but a mathematician genius. But for her and her knowledge, I don't know that John Glenn would have had the space explorations that he had, because he trusted her knowledge and her numbers. So there are a lot of women out there, but I think we need to do a better job of encouraging each other, supporting each other, opening doors and opportunities for each other. And if I can do that and leave that as a legacy as a county manager here, then I will say I have succeeded.
Great. And that was my next question, is what legacy do you want to leave?
I would say more importantly than anything that doesn't have anything to do with women or gender it would be, did I leave the county better than I found it? Did I leave it better than I found it, right? Whether it's being fiscally accountable and prudent with our taxpayer dollars, whether it's being effective and efficient in governance, whether it's being a connector for our employees. Everyone communicates, but few connect with people. And I think one of the things that I have gleaned and learned as a strength of mine is connecting people. And I hope that I can leave the county better than I found it in those areas.
Great. So we have some fantastic guests lined up for the podcast through the end of the year.
Yeah.
Who's our next? You're next. Excuse me.
Well, I'm excited that our management team has agreed to go along on this journey with me. So when I brought the idea to them that we were going to be doing a podcast, I asked them if they would share some of their leadership nuggets with our workforce and our community. So first to come up in April is Stephen White, who is our former tax assessor, who is now our support services agency director. And Stephen is excited to come on with me next month, and he's going to be talking about the differences between leadership and management and sharing some of his experiences having been here at Cobb County for a while. So it's exciting.
Fantastic. And he's got a great personality
Yes,
as
he
well.
does.
So I'm
Yes,
sure
he
it'll
does.
be interesting. And just a lot of leadership, too, because he's been with the
Yeah.
county for so long.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he could talk a little bit about his new role and his expectations for support services, but also just some of the challenges and experiences he's had as our tax assessor as well. But he also teaches leadership, right, in his own
fantastic.
association. Yes. So I'm excited to hear throughout the rest of the year the different takes on leadership. Because as I
Yes.
said earlier, there are as many definitions as there are leaders.
Right.
Right? When we talk about leadership. So it's exciting.
Well, I'm excited, and I'm honored to have been able to help you with your first launch podcast.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
I'm looking forward to all of the knowledge and wisdom we'll receive from your future guests.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.